seems like into the future, those out there, whether it be investors, capitalists, people that are wanting to be opportunistic around these themes that aren't constrained by these either ideological or these, these green or ESG things. If you don't have that weighing over you, and there's not many people that do, if you're a big investment fund, or if you're somebody that's is constrained by these things, that's not really a future that's probably there for you. But for those that are nimble, for those that have capital, for those that can exploit these themes, it just feels kind of bullish into the future for the people that are opportunistic in this environment. Do you feel that with like people that are looking to maybe exploit these disconnections that we're talking about in terms of whether that be private investment or just otherwise?
100%. At a time when everyone says, don't spend any money, hunker down, only give us these 100% variable dividends, which, by the way, you can't maintain because inventory is by nature depleting.
Right.
But anyway, we're going to demand that, and we'll get out of your stock when your inventory rolls over. And too bad for you, we'll be gone, so we're not going to care. And again, I'm
Yeah.
sympathetic to the history of poor returns. My point is not to go back to drill, baby, drill. It is that if we're early in the cycle and people are still scared of the cycle, you'd rather spend now than 10 years from now when everyone is bullish. So I'm most excited actually about,
Right.
I'm going to be very clear on this, private capital opportunities, which I differentiate from private equity
Mm.
opportunities. So I think there are private companies out there, and it's actually them and the NOCs. And so the NOCs are not something people can invest in. But I do think what actually ADNOC is doing in the United Arab Emirates, what Qataris are doing, what Saudi's doing, I think Petronas is kind of interesting. Like there are some international national oil companies that it's different they're doing for their societies, but they're able to take advantage of opportunities. And I wonder why they don't consider or reconsider, at least some of them, especially the ones in Asia, international expansion of at a time where there's no competition from anybody. The Euros are still in hunker down. We're going to be integrated energy company mode, even if they've shifted a little bit here. So that's one group. The other group is the private capital companies. They tend to be more in the United States. Like I think this would be a really exciting. Let's just say you think there are going to be regular price spikes. Do you want to play that through public equities where you know the multiple compresses? You have to hope you get your 90% variable dividend. You may not, or you might get something in between. Or would you actually rather own a PDP property? Now, Max, I'm a finance person. I'm not going to be able to do it. I actually think someone like yourself who has a different background working for, I believe you worked for Chesapeake, you had mentioned, and maybe that's natural gas, but I do think there are operators out there and there's capital to match those operators where there are going to be opportunities to take advantage of higher cost of capital that exists, the opportunity to therefore buy BDP at what might be a reasonable price, think about the volatility, but to actually benefit from what I think will be so if you can add up all those price spikes, and we don't know exactly when they're going to occur, can I keep my costs low enough that I can get a disproportionate return rather than simply saying the current strip is $65 or $70 a barrel, and I'm just going to so there are different ways to think about this, and I would be most excited outside of NOCs on private capital opportunities, but that money's hard. And I think there's some people in fortunate positions. It is hard to raise new private equity capital to raise those private capital opportunities, but that is what to me seems most appealing. And then I just ask, is there any publicly traded company that can buck the conventional wisdom and say they still have to make good deals? If you make a bad deal, your stock deserves to go down. But is there any publicly traded company who can buck the hunker down, the end is near kind of mentality that the investors have? And I don't know who that is.